Amy Porterfield, I am so excited all the way from Australia to be interviewing a person like yourself. Welcome to the show.
Well, thanks so much for having me. I'm delighted to be here.
Like I just said before, it's strange, right? Like you're a human, I'm a human, but I just said to you, I feel extremely nervous interviewing you.
Which I think is totally normal only because I get that feeling around people that I've been following for a while. So I totally get it. But believe me, I'm not that much of a big shot, nothing to be worried about.
I've often looked at why that happens, and for me, it's that I've elevated you in such a way where I think this person's of great stature, she's doing great things, and in doing that, I kind of lower myself and thinking, oh, I could never be like that. That's what I'd love to talk to you today about if you're happy to talk about that.
Let's do it for sure.
All right, let's. The thing that comes to me straight away, and I love everything you're about. Let's start with you're an open book. How did you discover that life has to be an open book? Like, what? Let's just give it a bit of an example of where it began a little bit for you.
Ever since I was a little girl, I wear my feelings on my sleeve. So I am not good at faking it. So when something's bothering me or something's on my mind or I'm feeling awkward about this or that, I have to share it in order for me to move past it. And so that's just always been a part of me. I also want people to like me and follow me for who I am, not who they think I am. And so it's important for me to kind of share it all in a hopes that you get to know me for truly who I am. That's an important part of it. So I think it was just kind of ingrained in me since I was really little.
So did you go through? There's huge amounts of social pressure. I know there's heaps around the world with social media right now, but when you say you just wear your heart on your sleeve and you're you every day, that's what we should be about. Yet that's not so easily done, is it?
Oh my gosh, no. So I'm glad you brought that up because it's not something actually that comes normal to me on online platforms, meaning that oftentimes I have to preface that I think I've gotten better over the years with being more vulnerable and open and sharing the good and the bad and everything in between. Because on social platforms, I want to look like I have it all together because I feel like that's how I'm supposed to look on social media. And in addition to that, I do always think, well, I don't want people to think I don't have it all together in case they don't want to follow me as their leader in terms of teaching them online marketing. So to be really honest, there is a little battle in me in terms of I want to share this because I hate to fake it and I like to be open with my feelings and thoughts. But then what will they think about me? And if they put me on a pedestal, they're going to take me right down if they hear this. So I have to admit, there is that battle going on inside me.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. A lot of people battle with that, and I think the people that don't, like you said, share it to move past it, it can get quite toxic. What I'd love to say is, I used to work as a therapist with a lot of people, and you're actually using the universe as like this therapy tool. For those people who don't share stuff openly and are a little bit vulnerable, that's how you become misaligned and you have to be this something that you're not, and you start hating yourself for it deep down. But here you are, challenging all your beliefs, putting yourself out there and using the world as like this therapy session where we actually get to see, the most beautiful person there is, like Amy Porterfield.
Mm. Well, thank you. I literally, that means the world to me. Thank you.
Isn't that, and that's what we're about today is I'd like to talk about it's not normal, it's not easy to be yourself, which is such a strange thing for me to even say.
Right?
It's this struggle everyone has. So let's ask you this question: what is your gift to those who you interact with? What do you bring to the marketplace?
So this is something that I actually didn't know I was bringing to the marketplace until I actually got in there, put my head down, and started to create content and do the work and build my business. And something that has kind of surfaced to the top that I really own now is that I make my students feel that what they are doing is doable and that they can move forward and they can figure out this online marketing space. A lot of my students come to the table not knowing much about online marketing and feeling like they're already behind. And so what I've heard from my students over and over again is you make it doable, Amy. You have a step-by-step process. You take a complicated topic and you make it so that we get it and we understand it. And I think the reason why that kind of surfaced to the top is that one, I've dealt with not feeling secure or confident in my business in the early years. I know how they feel. And two, I really think that we need to be patient with those that we teach and kind of take their hand and walk them through the process, because most people in my space won't do that. And I know how they feel, so I want to take care of them. And so that's basically where I feel like my specialty comes into play.
I definitely believe, because you are somebody who walks the walk and you teach action by action, as your website says, I don't feel that we interact with people. I feel that we attract people. And for me, the people that you work with are more than ready to hear that message from you. They want a new direction in life and possibly a fresh start. So I know for sure, and that's why I resonate with everything you do on your website, because you're so connectable.
Oh, that's what I want. I want people to feel like Amy's my girl. Like she's got my back. She can relate to me. She gets me, and she's gone before me. That's another thing I want my students to see. Look, I've done this. I've done great things with it. I've totally screwed up in other areas, and I'm going to teach you what I learned along the way. So if they feel connected to me in that way, then I've done something right.
That's amazing. So I love the spiritual path. There's a part of me that just loves this experience of life. And you just said you must live it. What do you mean by like, I know what you mean, but to others, is it the experience of life actually allows us to go inward and see what we're creating and growing here? Because you just can't sit on the couch, right, and manifest the world. You actually have to go out there and walk in the jungle, if you like.
Yes. It's funny you bring this up because I was listening to a podcast recently, and it was all about how Oprah Winfrey became Oprah. And so the podcast is called Making Oprah. And this journalist who was reporting, she got to interview Oprah. And Oprah was saying that she had to get in there and really live it. She had to make her mistakes, do shows that people didn't like, be vulnerable, put herself out there. People scrutinized her and her weight and how she looked all the time. But she said, I had to get in there and live that in order for me to understand where I was meant to serve in this world. And I think that the good, bad, the ugly, the messy stuff, the wins, all of that will help you understand why you are meant to do what you do and why you were put on this earth to support or serve in any way possible, depending on who you are. So I do think that's the part of just, you've got to live it.
So let's talk about exactly that. And this is what I help people with is there's common threads amongst all that, right? The adversity, the challenge, the elation, the euphoric. Mm-hmm. But there's common threads in all of that. And unless we're aware and taking note of how we feel in and out of what we're doing, these things can just go on for years unnoticed. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think definitely. I think you have to turn inward and really pay attention to what's coming up for you.
Let's go a real live example. When you first started this whole new journey, surely you weren't born with this online marketing platform, and you went out there and said to people, okay, I want to serve others. I want to put Amy up on a platform as she was born to be. How did your initial friends or circle of friends react to that?
I think that a lot of people, because I was coming from corporate, were a little bit unsure as to what I was doing or why I was doing it. And to be quite honest, I was a little unsure. To be very transparent here, I didn't get into the online marketing space because I wanted to change lives or serve others or help people grow businesses. I wasn't really sure what I was meant to do or what I wanted to do, but I did know that I couldn't have a boss anymore. There was something speaking to me around the fact that I needed to leave corporate and figure out this whole thing on my own in terms of what I wanted to do in this world. And so it came from a desire to no longer want to answer to somebody and have somebody else call the shots. I knew I wanted to be creative and move forward and try new things, but I wasn't exactly sure how that was going to shake out. It took a while for me to realize, wait a second, I could actually help people. I could transform their businesses. I could move them into a whole new level that they never thought was imaginable. But I didn't start out with like those really true good intentions like I have now.
Let's be honest, that's where I'm right now. Right?
Yeah.
I'm not this person who knows exactly where I'm going to end up. However, I have this inner feeling, like you just said, that I don't want to be under a boss anymore. I don't want to be that 9 to 5 corporate. I don't know where I'm going to end up, but I'll tell you that this feels what we're doing right now. That feels amazing to me. That's how I know I'm at least heading in the right direction.
You're totally right. I think we really need to pay attention to when we're in a place in our lives that things are flowing. Like this feels good to you. This might not be the most profitable thing you've ever done yet. You might not know exactly where it's going to lead you. However, you're showing up. You're doing these interviews, you're asking the hard questions, you're getting to the heart of the matter, and this will transcend into other people's lives and impact them. If you haven't figured out how you're going to make money with it or where it's going to go, that kind of stuff comes with diving in and actually doing the work. So I love that you're very aware this feels good to you. You got to pay attention to that.
Yeah, and my mind is very creative. I used to say it was very anxious and run away, but it's very creative, and unless it has its finger on the pulse and has all the boxes checked, it doesn't like to move forward.
Yes.
However, my heart is screaming to me and saying, you have to keep moving forward because I promise you there's something in this for you.
I love that. I love that. I'm just like you in the sense that if it doesn't make perfect sense with all the box checks off, then what am I doing? I'm being reckless or not responsible or whatever. But you just got to ignore that voice. That's not the voice that's going to get you to the stuff that you were really meant to do.
It's definitely getting yourself out of your own way. And I found if you get yourself out of your own way by doubt and fear and challenging all that, then opportunities present definitely in the life. So you said before you love serving your audience or your current, your followers. Actually, I don't even want to call them followers, but you said that online marketing, there's 1,000 online marketers out there, and I've done many seminars and many courses. One thing that I definitely know you do different is you actually online market what? It's not an online marketing course. You actually help people get in touch with their story, their message.
Yes, definitely. So I go deeper than just, the tactics or strategies, but getting really clear on who they serve and why they're showing up to do what they want to do.
It's amazing because I'll be honest here. I tried to find some dirt on Amy Porterfield. I wanted to ask some big, strong, powerful questions, and all I've heard and read is some fantastic stuff. And I tried to find, but I thought I found the article. I thought I'd struck gold. As I scrolled down, I see titles, subheadings like "Her communication systems are running like Tesla, fresh off the lot. She gets me exactly what I need to do when I need to do it. Her negotiation process stands in stark contrast to I just can't believe what I'm reading." So you have an amazing audience that thinks the world of Amy.
And I appreciate you saying that. I know what article you're talking about. It was with my copywriter, Tarzan K, who wrote an article about how much she appreciates working with me, which was very beautiful. And I just loved hearing that from her. But I will tell you that maybe it's not written about me or people talk about it, but if we were to kind of look at some of the stuff that might be a little gritty with me, I definitely struggle with, well, obviously, I did that episode on my own podcast around not wanting to do video because I'm self-conscious of my weight and the fact that it's something I've battled since I was really young. And that might not be the grittiness part of me, but the part of me that I show up and I'm worried about what people think about how I look. And as I get older, it's just going to be more of a thing. Women are very sensitive to aging on camera. And so I battle my own demons about like looking a certain way and showing up a certain way. And it's something that I'm very aware of and that I really am working on, because I believe that you don't have to look a certain way or or sound a certain way in order to be successful in the online world. However, I say that to you, and then I feel self-conscious when I get on video. So I want my belief and how I feel about myself to come together. And there's a gap right now. And so believe me, there's a lot of stuff that I could talk about where I'm not showing up as I want to show up. But that's one of them that I publicly have started to battle with and talk about.
I actually requested that we do video, and I'm not sure if it was that reason or not, but the strong answer come back, no, Amy's not doing video, it's just audio.
Okay, that's so interesting. Just between you and me, I've asked my team to please stop doing that. That if someone asks for video, let's just do video. But I will say, probably a year ago, I didn't want to do video. I just didn't love doing it. And so I would tell my team that. But I think I've told my team countless times to please say yes to video. I don't know why they're not. Something I probably have to look into. So sorry about that.
Because I know I work best if I'm looking at somebody's face. As humans, we connect better when we can see that person smiling and their facial expression. So, I mean, your energy over just the audio is phenomenal. So I'm happy just with the audio.
Thank goodness, thank goodness. But video would be great too. Next time for sure.
Let's talk about something that come up for me right then is a topic I didn't think we'd be talking about. I've got, like you, I've got a list of topics in front of me, and I've promised myself not to sway or stray from these topics, but I am an intuitive person. And the thing that I think a lot of us lack is the word or the thing self-love. When you just spoke about being conscious about your weight, for me it's I'm conscious about my anxiety in public. Somebody else could be conscious about something. How important is it? In actual fact, you're saying, and I say about my anxiety, I need other people to give me approval before I am happy. How important?
And isn't that so? I think it's so sad.
It
I
is.
I think self-love, especially because I work with entrepreneurs, it's not something I talk about publicly a lot. And I feel weird like getting off of my topic or getting out of my zone to talk about self-love when I teach list building and course creation and webinars and all that stuff. But I really do believe that if we do not learn to love ourselves, no matter what somebody else says about us, then we're going to always struggle with not thinking we're enough or showing up in the way that we want to be showing up on video or in our blog post or podcast or whatever it might be. It is so incredibly important.
I'd love to highlight the world. I see the world as this huge heartbeat. And without every individual person contributing in their own individual way, this heartbeat is not all it can be. So
yes.
you I think are the master at the online marketing, but you also help people find their own story. So how important is it to somebody to be that raw person and show more self-love? Because in actual fact, that story is what the world needs to hear.
It's so true. And if I want to be a good example for those that I serve, I do have to focus on that self-love and learning to accept myself no matter what, because I want to be a good example for others that are just getting into this world and they're going to struggle with the confidence and making it all work and keep in continuing to move forward. But I want to really quick tell you a story that just happened to me yesterday. One of my peers in the industry sent me a text that wasn't so nice. She was kind of picking apart a decision I had made about my team, and she was questioning it in a way that I knew she was being judgmental of it. And so it was just a strategy I was doing inside my team. And when she said it, I was hurt. And then I started to second guess the strategy I put together. And then I started to think maybe I don't know how to run a team and like I got this all wrong. And then the very next day, this woman posted on social media about her challenge with self-love and acceptance and what she's been going through. And I realized, wait a second, all that stuff she said to me was all about her and her own challenges. It was not at all about me. And I think that's pretty much all the time. When people come at you with their judgments and opinions and put you down, it's totally a reflection of how they're feeling inside, which when I do it to somebody else, if I'm judgmental, it is a reflection of how I'm feeling about myself. So I think we need to remember that in terms of how we give feedback and how we show up and how we receive it from others. Everyone's doing the best they can. And I genuinely believe that 99% of the time.
That is spot on. As we grow, I know our mental faculties. This is, and you know this. I've been through this, and everyone's fully understands what I'm about to say. As we grow, our mental faculties change. Our horizons broaden, if you like. I might perceive the world a whole lot. Like now, I study online marketing. I follow different people. I've let go of certain circles socially here in my local city, but everything changes for me. So I've stopped judging others. I've actually looked inward now and sort of given myself permission to show a lot more self-love. And what do you think about that? Does that then open the doorway for stuff you weren't seeing and feeling before?
Oh, 100%. I think it gives you clarity. It allows you to focus on the stuff that really matters. So I definitely am with you on that one.
What's one of the things what's a major challenge for you early on? Something that really scared you and it was a major hurdle for you to get through. But now looking back, it was an instrumental part of building this great model you have here.
I think putting out my first program was a really big hurdle for me because I was afraid people would think, who is she to be teaching that? She doesn't really know that. For many, many years, I worked for Tony Robbins and I was behind the scenes. And so he's a big guy, literally. So coming out from behind the scenes of the Tony Robbins organization, I started to think like, who am I to be doing all of this? Like Tony Robbins, he's a big deal. Of course, he should be teaching and out there and doing webinars and making products, but me? So doing my first product, and literally I remember sitting in my bedroom on my bed and getting ready to click send to send out an email to my very small email list way back in the day saying I had a brand new program. And I remember I hit send and I cried. And I'm like, why am I crying? This is so ridiculous. Why am I being so dramatic? But it was all fear. Like, oh my gosh, like I felt like I was naked. Like, here you go. This is me. And so that was huge in terms of me getting past feeling like I deserve to show up that way and put it out there.
That gets easier, right? Every time
Oh, yeah.
it's like you're putting on a piece of clothing every time you send an extra email.
It's so true because these days I don't even send the emails anymore. I have my team do it. It's like not even anything we think about. And when we send an email to promote, like I have no emotion except excitement, I guess, in terms of here we go again. Like no reservation whatsoever. If you told me back in 2010 that you'd be sitting here on an interview talking to a guy about the fact that you are not at all nervous to promote and create and send it out to the world, I'd be like, you're crazy. But that is the truth. So I didn't even realize that. Thank you for asking such a great question because that's a big deal to me. I didn't realize it until I just vocalized it to you.
It's really good to reflect on what we talk about. Every question I ask somebody
Yes.
is actually a question for myself. And if you're aware of that, it's so powerful.
Yes, so true. I love it.
What do you say to somebody? Let's pretend I'm listening to this and I'm thinking, I want to get some Amy Porterfield products. I want to get on board, but nah, this is not me. It's not for me. Who am I to stand up and share my message? Like, it's just not me. She's talking about everybody else. What would you say to that?
I would say that I get it, that I've been there before, but I would also say that creating your own stuff, putting it out into the world, and actually making money doing what you love is a whole different experience. I can't even imagine going backwards. And so I feel like you're keeping something amazing from those who need it, and you're actually limiting yourself in that whole process. So do it anyway. I'm a big fan of be scared, be totally fearful of the situation, but do it anyway. And each time I do it, that fear subsides just a little bit more to get to where I am today, where I send out emails and don't even think twice. But do it scared, do it anyway.
So I'm a firm believer to find your gift. If you were to combine two passions in life, like for me, I love connecting with people. Absolutely love connecting with people. The other one is I love asking huge questions and taking somebody deep and to a better understanding. So I've only just recently understood this. If I can combine those two through a podcast, then I'm well on the way to exploring my full potential. So if you had two passions that Amy Porterfield, like pillars that she stood on, what would those passions be?
One is that I love to take a complicated topic and make it really doable for somebody who is passionate and focused and wants to take action. So I really love to create content, and in terms of my areas of specialty. So that's one thing that I think I do really well and a pillar I could stand on in my business. The other is to be really relatable and to let other people see all of my jagged edges in hopes that they see themselves in what I'm doing so that they believe that it is doable and they can move forward. So being vulnerable and open and really understanding where people are coming from and connecting with them on that level, I think that's another pillar I could stand on as well.
Wow. 1 or 2 questions ago, I asked you, what about that person sitting on the couch? If I was sitting on the couch doubting myself, with this rasp of information on the internet right now, I get overwhelmed when I even open the browser. I have to step back and think there's too much stuff here. So
right.
You just answered that question yet again, is if I'm contemplating this move forward into the online space and finding my gift and my message, where should I start? Then Amy Porterfield, she's your gal. Like, you just said you like to refine everything. Nothing's overwhelming. Everything's very powerfully structured. Plus, you connect with people.
Yes. So, yeah, I'm your girl.
What a place to start. What's your number one program or product right now?
My number one program is called Courses That Convert. And surprisingly, I actually thought it would be another program where I teach people how to do webinars and make money online. And although that's popular, my number one selling program is this Courses That Convert. And I think the reason why is because people have skills and knowledge and they want to share it, but they don't want to do it one-on-one. They want to share it on a bigger scale so that they actually have some freedom in their life to do other stuff that they enjoy. So creating courses and selling them online allow you to have a little bit more freedom to do the other stuff. And I'm guessing that's why it's so popular.
So what sort of courses, if I go there, what courses am I creating?
So it's so many different things. Like, let me tell you a few of my students. One, she's a voiceover professional and she teaches other people how to grow their voiceover profession business. Another one teaches parents how to get their kids to sleep through the night. Another one is a yoga instructor, and she shows you how to get started with yoga through her digital course. And then I've got a lot of people that do similar stuff to me, how to build a business online or how to find your marketing message or all that good stuff. So it really runs the gamut. One's a lawyer and he teaches people how to pass the bar exam. So many different topics. It really is where is your zone of genius? What do you know that you could teach other people? What do you know that people really need to know and they could take action with? And I'm going to tell you right now, everyone has something. You might not know it. Really quick, I'll tell you one more story. Way back in the day when I worked for Tony Robbins in a corporate environment, I was on his content marketing team. And I looked at one of my friends who was a writer, but she also worked for Tony. And I said, you're so lucky. You have a skill that could translate outside of this job and you could actually build your own business. I have zero skills or knowledge where I could actually create a business of my own. And I look back at that girl who said that, me, and think, you were so wrong. But I just didn't think I had the knowledge or skill set to teach other people what I knew. So just know that you might think you don't, you do.
Yeah, although I don't want to ram this course that you just talked about, courses that convert down people's throat, I remember asking, because I've asked thousands of questions of thousands of people worldwide, and I remember asking very on the start of my journey was, I said to somebody, where do I start? I want this. I can feel that I'm, going to be impactful. And he basically turned his back on me, but he said, start right now, right where you are. And that annoyed the hell out of me. So your course, like when I'm sitting here and thinking, well, I actually don't have a message. What do I know? This course, I'm not ready for that yet. For me, I would say simply start that course. And through the process, it'll help you find that message or underlying gift. You just said zone of genius. I don't think until you start walking the walk and feeling that experience of life is you actually start tapping into this beautiful thing that you own.
Yes. So true. Because if you don't do it, if you don't just start and try something, you'll never get to where you are meant to be. Like all the stuff, let me tell you, the stuff I did in those early years, I did more consulting for social media. Like the business I started in 2009, 2010, 2011, those years looks nothing like what I have today, which is a multi-million dollar business. It looks nothing like it. But if I didn't try that stuff, if I didn't take that big leap with the fear into my own stuff that I started to create in the early days, I would never, ever have realized my value that I have today in my own business. So you've got to just do it. I guess it's the Nike, the Nike slogan.
Yes, I was on the couch not doing anything because I was so overwhelmed with life and my anxiety just skyrocketed. So I wasn't doing anything. And the sheer fact or the thought of me trying a couple of things made me bury myself in the couch even more. But my whole life shifted when I did exactly what you just said.
I love it. I love hearing that.
When you actually jump in the pool, put your feet in, and like a metaphor, but then start swimming, and all of a sudden it just feels natural because this gift that you were born with is actually you. You know, who are you not? You know, who are you not to put that out there?
Yes, I love that. I remember I watched this TV commercial a while ago and this guy was saying, "Why not you?" And I thought, that's so true. Like, why not you? If I can do it, if all these other people can do it, why can't you do it? Believe me, you can more so than you even know.
It's crazy, hey. I've enjoyed talking to you, Amy. It's actually your energy and just I can feel it. Like it's
Coming
like
from you, that means a lot because I know you are an intuitive in that way. So thank you. I appreciate it.
we've never ever spoken before, and I'm flabbergasted that I'm talking to you right now. I remember sending an email months and months ago on a whim, then another one, then another one. I'm thinking, nah, she hasn't got time for me. And then all of a sudden, an email come back said, sure, in 3 months we have a spot. And I'm a firm believer that things happen for a reason. But I just get this. I feel like I've known you for years. That's the kind of person that you are.
Thank you. What a gift to hear that. Thank you so very much.
So for everyone else out there that has this feeling also that they just have to get alongside Amy Porterfield and your products and programs and how we can grow together, how do we connect with you?
Well, thanks for asking. I've got a bunch of free great content at amyporterfield.com, and I have a podcast called Online Marketing Made Easy on iTunes and Stitcher and Google Play, so you can find me there as well. Thanks again for asking that.
Something really quick, if you go to amyporterfield.com and just hit the About Amy button, you'll know really quickly, intuitively, whether that resonates with you or not. After reading, the first 2 paragraphs, I wanted to sign up for everything that you have. It's so raw and authentic. It's not some sleazy marketing pitch that, it's not all flashing buttons and hypey colors. It's like I'm sitting down at the kitchen table with you and we're having a discussion about Amy.
Even better. Even better. I love it.
Amazing. So thank you very much, Amy Porterfield. Like, I feel like this is our 10th conversation and I'm so excited to have had you on the Gift podcast and I'm super excited. Let me ask you one last question that keeps coming up for me. Where to now? Like, what's the vision? Because if in someone like in your position that is, influencing a lot of lives and, it's amazing feeling right now. Where to next?
I want to push myself to get out there a little bit more. My apprehension with video and not wanting to put myself out there because of all those fears, I want to squash all of that and do it anyway. No matter what weight I'm at, I want to put myself out there in hopes of connecting with people at a deeper level. So for me, what's next is deeper connections, more quality connections with my students and my audience. So that is what I'm going for.
Beautiful. Thank you very much for being so raw and open, the open book that you say you are. Like that's the truth right there.
Thank you for having me and keep doing what feels good to you because you, my friend, are on the right track. This was an awesome interview. I'm so glad we got the chance to chat.
And that means the world to me. Thank you very much, Amy.
Bye.